Yes guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you have been living under a rock, you wouldn't have seen that All or Nothing Tottenham Hotspur has just dropped on Amazon yesterday, and today I have been joined by Max, who hasn't been on the channel in a long time. But
It's been a while. It's been a
long time, especially since we can't see each other at the stadiums as well, man.
No, exactly.
How you doing?
Yeah,
You're buzzing?
no.
You good? Happy about the series? Not happy?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's good to be back on the channel and obviously talking all things Spurs once again. We've obviously got a lot of things to look forward to next season, and where better to start than with the Amazon documentary, eh?
Exactly. A lot of twists and turns and a lot of very interesting talking points. But what we're going to do today is we're going to review episode 1 of All or Nothing. So just a warning to anyone watching this, there will be spoilers. I will be saying what's happened, and we'll be discussing pretty much a lot of minor details. So if you haven't watched it already, make sure to go watch it and then come back after to have a look at the review and see if you agree with us, disagree, or just want to have a little chat about what we thought of the episode. So yeah, quickly just to break down what happened in the first episode. Obviously we started off, Levy was pretty much the first person we saw on screen, and then it moved on to talking about Poch and the decline towards the end and his sacking in probably like the first third of the episode. And then we obviously moved on to Mourinho coming in. We saw a bit more about Mourinho, and then it ended heading towards his first game in charge. So that's kind of the general breakdown of the episode, but there's a lot of like little funny moments, little moments that I think we're going to discuss from the first episode, which I thought was brilliant. But yeah, I think one thing to point is that we, like I said before, we started off with Levy at the beginning, kind of defending his ambition for the club. He was basically saying that his perception, the perception that he has, is that people think that he's got no ambition and doesn't care about the club, and he kind of like almost instantly, the first thing in the episode is just defending that. And obviously we're no stranger to the fact that a lot of fans aren't necessarily happy with him. So I was wondering what you thought of. You thought?
Well, no, he was quickly to say he had nothing against Pochettino. He's worked with him for 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I remember him, didn't he say pretty much straight away? He said, "There's two big names." He said the only difference is I think one has won trophies, and Poch has managed another Premier League. Like they've managed Premier League clubs. It's literally just that whole Mourinho factor of no matter where you are in the world, what team you support, if someone says Jose Mourinho, you know who he is.
Exactly.
And I think when I speak about Mourinho, it does make me excited, because I genuinely do feel, I say to everyone, I still want a full season with Mourinho. He's coming halfway through. We ended up he said if we had 2 more games left, we might have even pipped that Champions League spot. And I feel like Levy has made it was a bold move, but it was one that had to happen quickly.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think like he's definitely a blockbuster name, and that's the thing that if you 10 years ago you'd said that we would have Mourinho as manager of Tottenham Hotspur in that stadium, I think everyone would think you're absolutely mental. But yeah, then it quickly moves on. Like it shows us the Ajax semi-final moment, which obviously reliving that was incredible, emotional. It just the whole episode just starts off so emotional. It's like you see Poch again, you see the Ajax semi-final, like everything just.
It got you gripped from literally the first 45 to a minute of the episode. Boom! You're watching it, you're like, this is going to be good. This is going to be a banger.
Exactly.
It didn't disappoint at all. That's exactly how it ended up turning out. And obviously throughout this episode that we're going to talk about the key moments during the episode, there was plenty of them, to be honest.
No, exactly. And what I find funny as well is after the semi-final, it's mad how swift the episode just cut past the final. It was kind of just like, yep, Origi scored 2-0, right, that's it, we're done. We won't talk about that again.
It's like 30 seconds of just, Liverpool won it, back to Mourinho.
Back to Mourinho, forget about that. And yeah, I just feel like the episode kind of just, like the first, so after the semi-final moment, the rest, like the next 15 minutes was kind of just all pain. It was showing like the Bayern Munich 7-2. It was showing like a lot of the losses that we had under Pochettino, saying we only won like, what was it? It was like 2 out of the 8 games or something like that.
A great streak, and then like you're probably about to say, it was just cutthroat. See you later, Pochettino. Next minute, Mourinho's walking through the door.
Yeah, that's what I found like so strange, is that throughout this whole time with things, and especially as well, there were loads of rumours going around everywhere saying that Amazon had the footage of the Pochettino sacking, of like Levy sacking him, which I think a lot of people were expecting to see in the episode. But it's mad how like kind of they just swiftly went over it. It was just a case where they showed it after, what was it, the Red Star Belgrade? No, what game was it? There was a game where I think we lost, or there wasn't. It was like a Premier League game that we didn't get a result or something. And they showed the clip of Pochettino saying as well on the Red Star Belgrade saying,
was it Sheffield United?
It was the 1-1 draw. Yeah,
Sheffield United
so
at
it was
home.
right before the international break. Yes, that was it. And I think I remember him saying that just before that he was defending himself.
And they showed the Joe Linton goal as well.
Oh
Spurs.
yeah, for the Newcastle one, yeah. Basically just showing what a terrible start it was, and it was sad seeing that Pochettino in his press conference saying, "I've got 3 years left of my contract. I hope to see the end of it," kind of thing. And then it's almost like instantly, bam! Next, Poch has been sacked by, and we're all like.
I was actually out in Prezzo the night he got sacked. I was literally just about to tuck into my whatever I was eating, some pasta bolognese or something, and it flags up on your phone, Sports, and it was like. It's like, waiter, Bill, please.
Bill, please, I need to go. I don't know if you remember. I was in Australia when it happened. So for me, it happened at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I was asleep. I woke up to the news at like 7 or 8 in the morning, just seeing like hundreds of messages in like the family chat, Twitter, everything, and then like Pochettino sacked. And and bear in mind, I woke up probably knackered and shattered. I was like so shocked to see. Like, as much as we kind of knew it was happening, I was also really shocked.
You can never put yourself in that situation where you're ready for something like that, though.
Nah, definitely not. Especially when we've had 5.5 years of him. Like, I think it's just incredible, to be honest. But yeah, it happened about 22 minutes into the episode. I think I got it here. And yeah, they also showed like the staff members packing up his belongings.
That was weird.
That felt brutal, man. It was like he's gone, but then we didn't see anything of him after that.
On the other hand, with Mourinho, I don't know if you're going to quickly mention that, but
yeah, go on.
With Mourinho's, he comes straight in. He was like unboxing, and he put certain things in a certain corner. Yeah. He's putting it there, left and right.
I noticed he had like a little plate that had like Champions League winner or something like that. Like at this, and you just see him just unpacking all these different medals and like trophies and stuff. And we're just
he definitely shows every player that comes in, like holds it out.
Yeah.
You haven't got one of these?
He says 3 times. I got this. Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. And the fact he was like, they showed him like unpacking it himself. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, we kind of went from like a brutal Poch sacking to then obviously everything like players looking shocked. Mourinho's coming in, such a big move. And in fact, the one point as well was that he had, I think it was Kane, Vertonghen, and I think it was like Toby and Ericsson maybe at a table, something like that. And then there was like, it was like Vertonghen talking about the sacking, saying like, well, we've had like 5.5 years of just his ways. Like, we're gonna have to change now. Like, he was quite surprised.
Because he's up on the TV, isn't he? Being like, they're showing the highlights of him at Porto and everything. And that was quite strange. It's weird watching when you know certain players aren't at the club anymore, because obviously you know their fate. Exactly.
And it's crazy to see what it's like. And then obviously I think as well, Kane saying that it was actually quite a sudden thing for Poch and the staff members him getting sacked. Because I think Vertonghen was trying to say that, apparently they knew. And then Kane was like, no, I spoke to Poch yesterday. He said it was just all of a sudden thing. He said he turned up and Levy was just like, that's it, you got to pack your bags, you're out. Yeah, which I think that's a bit mad as well. But the thing is, like, Levy must have known as well, because Mourinho came in instantly. So he would have had Mourinho lined up, ready, all sorted, and then Poch just one day came in and he was sacked.
The thing is, there was talk on social media, weren't there, about Mourinho being Spurs boss in the future or whatnot, but no one thought it would be all of a sudden.
How can you take that serious? Like, Jose, of all his times at Chelsea, like, you couldn't see him as a Spurs
We've all
manager.
been there. You've got the clip of
yeah.
You've got the clip of I saw that do the rounds on Twitter. That did of you, George singing he hates. It's something about hating Mourinho. I'm sure he takes that.
No, it was at the United away game, and it was when Lucas scored and we beat them, and it was me singing "You're Not Special Anymore" to him. Hey, it was just banter. It was just banter.
Yeah, it's just football banter. That's football banter.
It is what it is. I'd still love the fact that he was that he's our manager now, but. Yeah, I think what we could talk about next, which I thought was hilarious, is just the funny stuff instantly that happened with Mourinho. The bit where they're talking to Sky Sports, or I don't know if it was Sky Sports, but he had it on TV about them talking about the Poch sacking and him coming in, and it's just them saying, oh, they've sacked Poch, it's the wrong thing to do, and then one saying it's the right thing to do, and then you had one of the guys saying that, oh, he's outdated and he's not a good thing for Spurs, and he just goes to the TV and says, fuck off, and turns it off.
He just got, the thing is, it's when he's first looking up, he's like, yeah, I don't mind them saying that about me. Like, and then instantly he's like, nah, I'm not having this.
Yeah,
Getting up.
He kind of like a meerkat. He was like looking up and then looking down, and then I was like, did they really just say that? No, no. And he was like, oh, fuck off.
Do you know what I love though? Is, do you reckon, had the Amazon cameras not been on him, he'd been listening to Sky Sports News, or do you reckon it was just on? Because they obviously want to capture those moments to see how everything. They want to see
how he reacts,
in and outs of every player, every person.
That's a good point, because I wouldn't have thought that any manager or player, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have thought they would want to watch like people talking about them.
Because that whole day was everything you need to know about Poch and everything you need to know about Mourinho. It was just everything. It was the whole day of Sky Sports News. You know, they have that yellow banner going across.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
and then even Wink saying as well in the episode that it's like the most coverage he's ever seen of anything, just like Mourinho. And then I think they were saying that, I think the cameras or when they did like press conferences, he said the amount of like Portuguese or like international TV that they wouldn't have had before, is like, there's so much more now because Mourinho's there. I think it's just literally just all been about Mourinho and his new job, which I think is, well, that's going to be obviously like the main focus of the whole series now.
100%.
Missed out on about 6 months worth of Poch footage just to go straight into about Mourinho and like almost
that's the Mourinho effect. Everyone was saying the Poch effect, but the Mourinho effect is in full flow. And
that's the thing, man. The guy literally is like a world superstar, really, when it comes to managers. So it's no surprise that they chose to focus on him, to be honest with you. Like, and seeing what he can do as a turnaround rather than focusing on the Poch decline, which I think that's a good thing for us fans, I think, because I think what a lot of fans worried about is people are like mocking us, or we're going to come across as an embarrassment because all we're going to be able to show is just our fall and anything like that. But I think it's good that they've managed to switch it around and kind of make it that, you know what, it's actually more to do with the rise with Mourinho than the fall of Pochettino. I think that's definitely a better angle, because I don't know about you, but I wasn't watching that episode or any of them just thinking, oh, this is embarrassing or anything like that. I actually just found it really, really insightful and enjoyable to watch.
It's really well documented, and from start to finish. Obviously, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. So I'm going to go and watch it.
You're going to see the third one soon.
That's fine. I knew you weren't going to be talking about the third one on this stream. So
no spoilers for you here, so that's all right.
But the one thing I do really like, it was more so in the second, so I won't go on about that too much, but definitely how they give you a massive low of like, Spurs losing all this, and then as soon as Mourinho's in, they show like a couple of wins in a row. Like they're like, Spurs 3-3, Mourinho.
The bounce back, and then it's like the mentality with like the play. Like you can see the players changing a bit as well when he comes in, which is sick.
I mean, you're gonna mention it, but obviously Harry Kane of all people, goosebumps.
That was surprising, man. So for all of you that don't know, I think it goes pretty much towards the next points as well. Is that a lot of the rest of the episode was kind of Mourinho's relationship with the players and kind of how he developed it. And there's a lot of funny moments, like he's talking to Kyle Walker-Peters, saying like, "Oh, do you prefer Walker or Peters?" And he goes, "Oh, Walker Peters," and he's like, "What? Both? Like, that's too long for me, man. That's too long." And he's just like, and there's loads of little things like that. Like he's talking to Tanganga about his name being wrong, and like
he's definitely never pronouncing his name properly.
No, 100%. But that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's such a bad perception of Mourinho when it comes to his like management with players, and he seems like he actually is quite a really good manager. Like,
because the problem is 90% of fans, obviously, the ones that go like us to every home game or whatnot. It's so easy just to see who we're playing next, and then just see 90 minutes of football, and then that's it. You cut yourself off from everything else. You don't see the team talks at half time. You don't see the players bonding. You don't see in the training, like what training they get up to.
Exactly.
It is mental. I think it's been probably, obviously being biased, but I don't watch documentaries, and that is probably one of the best things I've ever seen. Like the first episode blew me away.
I think it is amazing just to really see what actually happens behind the scenes to get proper insight of people as well. And I think it, to be honest with you, I think it's better than the Man City one, because the Man City one was like, weirdly enough, because they were winning everything, it just was a bit boring, because they couldn't really show, like, what were they going? They weren't showing much. They were literally just showing them winning every game, and it's like, oh, like Pep's football and this, that, and the other.
That's the thing. It's gone from, even a lot of non-Spurs fans will want to watch it because they're like, oh, we're going to take the mick out of Spurs fans for this. It's like, actually, you can't, because look how well it's been done. You can't. No one can go and slag off those first 3 episodes, because
not
there's
at all.
Nothing to slag off. What are they going to say? Oh, Dele's useless in training, or tired, it doesn't give his 100%.
Yeah, well, look at him now. He's like performing so much better because of it, because of like Mourinho calling him out.
Yeah, Mourinho called him out, had a little talk with him at his desk, and then the game against Bournemouth, he went and scored like a double, didn't he? He was brilliant.
He just smashed it, and I think it's funny that he actually called Dele effing lazy when he came to training, which I thought that was. I knew he was a brutal guy, but it was almost instantly, like one of his first meetings, he just goes and says, "Oh, and I heard about you, Dele. You're fucking lazy when it comes to training," and everyone was just like, he just straight up called him out on that.
Because that moves on to Eric Dyer, where I just thought I'd bring it up, because a lot of people are quick to slag Eric Dyer off, or say, oh, why is he not good enough? He's in the England team. How's he getting in? But someone like Mourinho will tell you why he's in there, because he obviously gives his all in training. It's a win-win for Mourinho, really. I think, it's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well that he was with Dyer in this episode as well, towards the end, he was saying that Dyer is probably one of the only players on the pitch that was actually not afraid of conflict. Mm-hmm. Like, he would actually take it by the throat and stuff. So that's probably why he likes him so much, because we've seen countless of times, and it's said throughout this episode countless of times, that Mourinho calls the players too nice. And he says that Dyer is pretty much one of the only guys that isn't too nice on the pitch. So I think that's why, that really shows us Spurs fans like why he likes him so much.
And that's why it goes to show about Kane with his half-time team talks and effing and blinding. Like,
something you just don't expect, because all you see is his media, the media trained view of him.
Yeah, his face is Mr. Kane, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Like, just because someone swears doesn't mean they're not nice, but it emphasises sometimes. It makes the conversation a bit more like what it is. If, like, when Mourinho says effing lazy to Dele, if he just says you're lazy, the effing bit, it doesn't have the emphasis. It kind of makes it a bit like, I'm being serious, but I want everyone to laugh at the same time. Yeah. Like, it
creates a better point. And I think the next big thing in the episode was obviously like Kane and Mourinho having a 1-to-1 in the office. Mm-hmm. And I think like the main points that we got from here is that, like, Mourinho was calling Kane a winner. He said he says he sees him as a winner with a mentality, and he wants to build Kane as a superstar universally, and saying he's like I am, like you have to, like I have to admit, like I am. Everyone knows me around the world. He's like, I want to make you like that. And Kane was like, yeah, I want to be on like the level of Messi and Ronaldo, where he is a superstar globally. And then Jose says, well, if you stick with me, like, we're going to do that. And he also admits that we had better players than United as well, saying that we got better players to build on, which I thought that was a nice little dig at.
100%. Yeah, he's saying we've got better players, but he's not wrong. He's just showing that just shows. At all, yeah. If you were to go that season when Mourinho was there, and obviously say, like, player for player, 9 out of 11 players you probably would have picked Spurs.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kane in that 1-to-1, he was saying Kane knows he's got all the personal accolades. Mm-hmm. He just, there's not much more. I don't know what else he can do. He needs his team. He needs his team to be on the same level as him. Exactly.
I think that's why I really do honestly hate these whole arguments like, but what has Kane won? And this, that, and the other, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not being like, it's a team sport. Exactly. We know for a fact our team has let us down massively. Like, if we didn't have a big enough squad, or maybe a player makes mistakes, or this, that, and the other. Like, that's got nothing to do with how good he is as a player, because it's a team game at the end of the day. He's been out injured loads of the time. If he doesn't win the Premier League, it's because of other reasons, or he doesn't win so and so. Like, he only just came back from injury before the Champions League final. Maybe that hindered him. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so many factors, I think, as well.
I would have liked to have seen more in depth to reason why he did start and didn't start Lucas. They must have got that on camera, but I guess we'll never know. It'll only ever be But if we'd won, you wouldn't be talking about it. But it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's why didn't Lucas start? And
exactly, because I feel like there must have been so many questions around that with Poch, but I guess they just didn't really focus on him at all, really.
No, exactly.
It was just they showed the decline and then moved on to Mourinho. But yeah, like it was wicked. Honestly, it was wicked, and to see Kane actually be a proper leader. Like shouting at people and stuff, because even Mourinho calls him a silent leader in this, because leads by example, but then he just goes and does more than that as well in the dressing rooms, and then even he calls out players when they do that like team meeting, when like Mourinho's there and all the players are in the room together. Like he calls people out saying it's happened all season, it's not good enough, like where's the mentality at? I think
he says like it's unacceptable, doesn't he? Because it's every game, it's not just every so often. It's
not just a moment.
There's times it's happening. I mean, if it wasn't Poch wouldn't, let's face it, Poch would still be there if it didn't happen all the time. So it just shows that he does bleed Tottenham, and the people out there just try and get a little nibble when they say, oh, Harry Kane's gooner or whatnot. End of the day, we've signed Matt Doherty, right? And end of the day, if someone's a gooner, as long as they give 110% for our club, I don't care who they support.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and I think it's like there's no real loyalties in professional football. No. If someone's willing to pay you 50 grand, 100 grand a week, you're gonna play for them, and it's all about your career at the end.
It's their job as well.
Exactly.
It's your job. You don't want to underperform at your job, do you? So,
like, think of it another way. If I'm working in a bank and working at Barclays, I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm not going to take that extra 100k a year to work at HSBC because I've been at Barclays my whole career. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like rivalry, when it comes to your job and your career, it doesn't matter. No. Like, because at the end of the day, you've just got to secure the best career possible.
Exactly. And sometimes in football, I know it's gone off topic a tiny bit, but it's who comes in for which player at the end of the day. We're big Spurs fans. Say you're playing for a team, I don't know, I'm just saying Real Madrid, for example, because it's an easy team to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name another London side because I don't want to be that guy, but I would want Spurs to come and sign me, right?
Yeah.
If another London club come in, you'd have to look at it.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I think you're right. No, you're totally right. I think we're towards the end of like what happens in the episode now as well. I think one funny moment I think we have to point out, which I thought was hilarious, was it was him and Mourinho and Sacramento having a meeting talking about the players, because it was like their first day in charge or something like that. They were like kind of getting to know the players a bit better, and the funny thing was Sacramento saying that Sissoko has a big influence in the squad, a massive influence, and then you just see Mourinho just sit back and go, fuck.
And then it just cuts off. It just cuts off to like something else.
I think he is as shocked as anyone whenever we heard that, because I don't know about you, I watched that and I was like, what? Brilliant.
I mean, it had to be Sissoko, didn't it? Because obviously every Spurs fan loves him, whether he's good or not. Everyone can make their own assumption about that. But whenever I think of Sissoko, I just think of that goal that he scored. When Son crossed it in, and it was just like, it's about time, finally. Oh, the elation when that went, it was incredible. I think it goes to show as well what people miss in terms of like, it's with a lot of players, it's sometimes not about whether they're going to play week in, week out. Like if Sissoko clearly has that big of an impact in the dressing room, because he is one of the older players, one of the more experienced players. Like if he's got that impact, then that's probably why we've kept him this whole time. Because if you get rid of him and then we lose the gel between Aurea or any other like French-speaking player at the club, if we just lose that, like Ndombele maybe even could be way worse if we didn't have Sissoko. Like we might even have had Ndombele if Sissoko wasn't there, because he's basically been an older brother to him. No, yeah, exactly. Similar to Serge Aurier as well. It's his confidence. I mean, we don't know what's going on with him at the moment in terms of transfers or whatnot, but he obviously gets on well with Ndombele and Sissoko as well. So there's been games where he has been good, and it's like.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the restart as well, I thought he played really well those past few games. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for him.
Time will tell.
Exactly. And then the episode pretty much finishes off with him saying that Dele doesn't train. I think he was talking to Levy at this point, saying Dele doesn't train well, but he's got the mentality and the aggression and everything to be a player, to be a top player. And he even admitted as well, which I thought was amazing, is that Sir Alex Ferguson gave him one piece of advice when he became Man United manager. He said sign Dele Alli, because he's got that right mentality. He's a Man United player, so to speak, with obviously what they're looking for in a player. So I think that goes to show for us fans as well. We need to not be too rash just because he's had like one poor season. Oh, and bear in mind, his one poor season still got more goals and assists than Maddison, who everyone's raving about. So it's only Jack Grealish, I think, has had a better season in terms of like an attacking midfielder. So
the problem is with Dele is it's not a problem, but when players perform so well at like 19, 20, everyone just expects them to just keep going like this.
Yeah.
And it's not always possible. Like if every player did that, you'd be on Messi or Ronaldo's level.
Exactly.
You can't do that, but he's still putting in performances, and I'm sure he'll thrive in the coming season. Anyway.
Yeah, I think pre-season he's looked great so far. Obviously, it's pre-season; you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But I think pre-season he's looked pretty good. So I'm hoping he keeps it up for the rest of the season as well.
There's no reason.
I think just the last thing was they played that clip that went that went viral on Twitter when it was leaked, was the Mourinho moment, saying that the players are too nice and that they need to play like a bunch of C words, which I noticed at the preview, right at the start of the episode when they're like previewing everything throughout the season. I don't know if you noticed it, but they changed the C word to bastards. They said,
oh, did they?
He said that you need to play like a bunch of bastards, and they must have cut to another clip of him saying bastards. But they showed the full thing at the end and they just bleeped out the C word because obviously it's a very...
Yeah, I mean... Not many people can get away with probably talking like that, but Mourinho does what he wants. And
exactly, with the amount of things he's won, he could say to me anything, and I'll be like, "Thank you for telling me this." He
can call me that. That's fine.
Yeah, so I think so. That's pretty much like the whole of the first episode summed up as to what's happened. And what did you make of it, like overall? Like it's the first episode, all or nothing. We've got about 8 more to go, or 7 proper ones, and then a bonus one.
Do you know what I actually saw someone on Twitter say? We might actually the first trophy we'll have in years will be a BAFTA from Amazon releasing.
Oh God,
I thought that's brilliant because
that was brilliant.
It's caught every fan base. It's we've wound everyone up. It's like the Spurs admin is on point as well.
They have been smashing it, to be fair.
So, in terms of a first episode, it couldn't have gone any better, I don't think.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think with a lot of us, obviously, like I was saying before, we were expecting so much pain with the Pochettino thing. And as much as they go through it for maybe the first 15 minutes or so, they kind of do it swift enough and quick enough per thing that it doesn't really, it's not like embarrassing. It's not like, it's done quite quickly. And then it's just swiftly on to like, all right, Mourinho's in. Let's build up and become like, let's see where this goes, kind of thing. I think that's
I think if that's what the developers were aiming for, then they've hit the nail on the head because
100%.
It was brilliant and no pain. Like I said, goosebumps.
Very emotional for the whole thing.
Very emotional and
very gripping.
Yeah, I've obviously got the third episode to get to watch. So
yeah, you need to get watching that. All right, guys, that's summed up the first episode of All or Nothing. I am filming a second episode with another guest, and then also a third episode with someone else as well. So make sure to check out on the channel. If this video right now, let's say if this video gets 500 likes in the first hour, I'm going all in. If it gets 500 likes in the first hour, I will drop the next episode talking about episode 2 of All or Nothing. So yeah, make sure to go check that out as well, and also obviously make sure to go check out Max's channel. The link will be in the description.
Lovely.
So
it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, George.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we can start doing more things as well now that everything's starting to open up a bit more, and we hopefully in a few months see you at the football.
No problem, mate. Thanks.
All right, guys. See you all later. Peace.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star.